Yo, yo. How the hell is everybody? You know what's crazy? I was just about to start the stream on time and my PC like force rebooted. So gotta love it. What's up, everybody? Furniture on here, and today we're gonna go through some gaming news, and then we're gonna celebrate 800 subscribers. We got 800 savages following this channel, and I appreciate all of you. And I thought we would do something that I haven't done in a while, and we would do some Bloodborne speedruns. And we'll pick a weapon from the wheel. I stayed up late making sure that my save files were ready for this, so we're ready to rip. But before we get into that, let's go over some gaming stuff, dude. So we're gonna go on my Reddit, so make sure that you're following me on Reddit if you haven't already. Plug. I don't want to go super huge. Isn't it? It's like control. Yeah. Okay. It's the same shit. Okay. So I put this post on TikTok and it's gotten a lot of views and it's pissing a lot of people off. So this is the video if you haven't watched it. Fire a whole studio of people. God. Just playing this game makes me want to fucking fire a whole studio of people. It's like anyone watching, like, take notes as to why you should never make a game like this. This is not fun. Like, nobody wants to play this. Like, we want the open world aspects where we're running around doing parkour, shooting stuff. We don't want to be interrupted every 5 fucking seconds with cutscenes like this, or like exposition dumps or dialogue dumps. We don't like that. Have the fingernails that boost your stats. Like, have all that shit. Have all the yes girl stuff. I don't give a fuck. But see, like, people try to make it about that. They try to make it like, oh, you're just mad because it's a female protagonist, or you're just mad because of blank, or blah, 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 blah. It's like, we don't care. Like, I don't give a shit if, like, they put stats on nail polish. I don't care. Like, if the gameplay was fun, like, if, like, traversing the world was fun and there was unique enemies and, like, the combat was satisfying, I wouldn't give a shit, dude. You could make it like, oh, get a pumpkin spice latte and boost 10 dexterity. I don't fucking care. But it's the fact that this game essentially was like, go do a fetch quest. Once you find the fetch quest, cutscene. Once after the cutscene, talk about it with the cuff. Then after you talked about it, like, finish the rest of the quest, go back to the original town, cutscene. After the cutscene, talk about the cutscene. Have another cutscene before your next quest. Then go and interact with, like, there's just so much bullshit in between, and it just made it ridiculous. But just have, like, less moments like this. But how do you get the full scope of the story then if we don't fucking tell it to you every 5 fucking seconds? Tell your story better. I get it. There's a fucking way. Yeah, there's people out there, like, they think like that's proper storytelling. Like having like huge long cutscenes. Like, people praise God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok for having like an amazing story. And it's like, the story's mid, dude. And it's just like, it lays it on so thick. So like, I fucking feel sorry for you if that's how you feel like story should be told. Witch that we need to kill because she's fucking shit up. That's all I need to know. Yeah, like, legitimately, like, they just like overcomplicated that story way too much. And it's funny because I got a few replies on TikTok, and I just love responses like this, like from Quack Attack V2, please don't say we, you don't speak for us all. And it's like, okay, yeah, like, fuck you, you fucking cuck. Like, losers like this, and then see it based on your viewership numbers, looks like you're including only yourself at this rate. Laughy face, laughy face. So I had to fucking come back with, as the studio, Luminous Productions was immediately closed permanently after release. I'd say the majority agrees with me, which is true. Every fucking video you look up for this game, it's like how much this game sucks and like how can a game blow this hard. And you get 2 fucking cucks that are trying to earn brownie points with who the fuck knows that are trying to be like, don't say we, like you don't speak for all of us. It's like, yeah, I speak for fucking gamers that actually play real games, not pieces of shit that fucking let themselves be cucked by lame fucking games that are dog shit and like can't even admit it. What's up? News. So that response made me laugh. I was just like, give me a break here. This was something that like Warwana in the chat and like we've been talking about for a long time, is like why games are going woke, and it's for funding. And it's like, but Asmongold goes over this Twitter post that Elon Musk tweeted out. Let's watch it together.
Read Elon's tweet on Gamergate 2. Elon Musk tweeted about this.
It's not that gamers are
Elon's tweet on Gamergate 2.
Upset about, oh, hey, we have some diversity in the game. It's actually,
is that shit playing twice?
That they go about it with pure tokenism, with phoning in weak characters instead of creating strong new characters. And more importantly, it's about a vindictiveness to destroy them.
Where is it playing? Okay. We gotta open it in a new tab.
Read Elon's tweet on Gamergate 2. Elon Musk tweeted about this.
It's not that gamers are, upset.
Why is the quality so shit? There you go.
About, oh, hey, we have some diversity in the game. It's actually the way that they go about it with pure tokenism, with phoning in weak characters instead of creating strong new characters. And more importantly, it's about a vindictiveness to destroy the past, to destroy the IP, to ignore the source material, and to tear apart these beloved characters in some sort of fitful rage that we don't understand and is very disingenuous.
I think he's right about that, by the way. I don't think that people have a problem whenever a game, like, for example, like people might meme on Forspoken or something like that, but it's its own IP. So, like, if people don't like the game, then they don't like the game. That's up to them. But I think what people really have a problem with is...
And then it immediately shuts down the studio right afterwards.
whenever you go into an existing franchise and you change things... retroactively.
I think that is the tremendous reaction to Suicide Squad, and this is going to have an immense
same with that game too.
Impact. The way games...
So people are upset with Suicide Squad because didn't they like kill Batman at the end in like a really disrespectful manner? So like here's the thing. So what they're talking about in this video is, and then like with the whole Sweet Baby Inc. stuff and like a bunch of other shit that's come up recently is, yeah, like a lot of these dev studios and publishers, like they don't, like a lot of the times they don't completely self-fund their games. They have to get loans for funding to make their games. And they like work with their CFO and they work with their finance team and they just look for any avenue to get like the easiest money. And that's what they talk about in this video. And some of the easiest money out there was these loans that just require you to hit a checklist. And the checklist is you have to meet the DEI rules, blah, 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 blah. And that's why in a lot of these games, they come off as just really disgenuine because they're literally just going through the checkbox and they're like, yep, okay, we got blank, 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 blank. Money, please. Low interest loan, please. And what they're finding is a lot of these places are they're not offering the money out as much anymore because they're not getting paid back, or they're not seeing like a big benefit to it because all these games are doing really terribly because people like clearly see the checklist that's being ticked off for these certain rules and aspects. Yeah, I hope so too. Like I hope like they're gonna step away from funding. Let's keep watching the video.
Are funded. You don't use your own money. Even EA, okay? Games are hugely expensive to make. They're upwards of, $250, sometimes $600.
And you're like, why don't they use their own money? It's like, well, they need their own money to like survive. If like they have a game that completely flops, like so they don't just immediately go fucking bankrupt after the day after tomorrow, ring a bell for anybody. So like they keep a lot of their own capital for like an emergency fund or for like future development or just like, I don't know, like general operation stuff. So that's why you don't use all of your money to reinvest into your current project. That's why you take out loans.
$600 million.
Probably Diablo 4.
For certain live games. It's incredibly how expensive they are. And to do that, your CFO is your.
That's a really good point too. Like budgets are super stupid high in video games these days. And it's like, what are you spending your money on? Like, how are these budgets so out of control? And what you realize is it's just a lot of these games, like they're just too frivolous with the budget. And they just like, there's like so much shit that gets developed in a game, just like movies, and like it doesn't even end up in the final game. So they'll like spend a ton of money on like mechanics or just shit that just won't go into the final game, and then they have to cut all that, and that was just like a ton of wasted money. Also, it's just like it's also probably paying for like other projects that just never came to be. So like an example is like the Naughty Dog fucking free to play. Was it going to be free to play, or I don't know, the Last of Us multiplayer game that they're going to make, and then that being completely flushed down the toilet. And then just recently a Spider-Man trailer came out for a game that they canceled, and people are like, why would you cancel that? And it's like, probably because that game had like very little satisfactory gameplay loop, and it was just like probably super repetitive, and then they were just banking on microtransactions to keep that game afloat, and then they realized that people would probably get bored of it after like an hour, so that's why it got fucking canceled. But it's like they have these huge inflated budgets where they have to take on these massive loans.
Best friend. You're counting on your CFO to get you tax breaks, to get you in, to put studios in regions which are financially favorable, and you will borrow the cheap money. You will get a cheap money to do it.
That's why a lot of studios are in Austin now, or they're in Texas, because of the tax breaks that they get there.
Even EA does this. I worked with EA. We were putting together a deal where they were taking bailout money from the banks in the last financial crisis that we had.
The last
and they were
one.
applying that cheap money towards games. Same thing with.
Yeah, like people will play the latest Spider-Man game. They'll finish it in like 16 hours and like completely platinum it in 25. And then they think like a live service game is going to have like hundreds of hours of content. It's not. Like, it's just like, it's definitely not.
With COVID money, they're applying that cheap money towards games. And what has been the cheapest money while interest rates were still low, a couple of years ago? It was ESG financing.
So this reveals a lot. This reveals that the companies are assuming that it's true. Big assuming, right? Is Mark Kern telling the truth or not? Is he lying? It's hard to say. He's either lying or telling the truth.
Yeah, you always got to go with like, it's always like the simplest solution, or like the thing that makes the most sense or sounds, I don't know, just like the easiest is usually the truth. It's like, yeah, it could be wrong, but it's just like, I don't know, you don't see anyone coming out with like, nuh-uh.
Based off of if you agree with them or not. But I think that if you assume that it is true, it means that the companies are actually only pushing for any of this stuff because it's the easiest thing to do. It's like in a video game where like the most efficient way of farming is by like doing something extremely fucking boring, but like doing it 1,000 times, and everybody's doing that. And then the developer's thinking, oh my God, people must really love this.
Yeah, like that's so true. Like, I don't know, like people, if you've ever made a decision to play a game or to like, I don't know, like purchase any game or go with any sort of console or platform strictly on the basis of like, oh, well, the games that I play like are serving a bigger purpose by representing such and such group. And it's just like, if you actually think that these places legitimately care about any of these groups, you are sorely mistaken. You're completely fucking naive, and you are sorely mistaken. Fact, or true fact, Spider-Man 2 has, I think they have like an LGBTQ flag in the game, or they have like some sections of the game that have components of that. And in other countries where they are very against those beliefs, the people who made Spider-Man 2, so I forget the studio. Why am I blanking on the studio? Anyway, instead of just being like, you know what, if you don't believe in those things, we don't think our game should be sold in your country. You know what they did? No, they just fucking removed those parts of the game and then still sold that game in that country. So that tells you that they don't give a shit about any of these movements or any groups. They just care about money. So don't ever joke yourself that they have some higher cause or they're doing good things for different groups of people. They literally could care less. They're just looking for the buck.
This content, but no, they're just metagaming the system. Yeah, you think they, yeah, exactly. And I think it goes back to what I was saying before, right? About how these companies don't genuinely care about any of these problems or any of these people.
And so they're going to take this money and they're going to put it into games. But now that they don't have that money anymore because ESG is either being diminished or rebranded because the returns on investment have been so poor on Wall Street for ESG funds, that source of revenue is drying up. This woke machine cannot continue in the way that.
Yeah, they probably lost a lot of money because a lot of these games, a lot of them were not financially successful, and the studios have had to hide it. So yeah, like they probably had to like rely on clauses where like the game didn't meet fulfillment or things like that, and then probably couldn't pay off the loan or paid the minimum amount or who knows, right? So it just wasn't viable to be shelling out all this money, especially now with interest rates the way that they are. It's just, you can't get money as easy anymore. So it's just not like fiscally responsible. 5 trillion this year. Yeah, but that's, like you said, it's not just for gaming.
That it is now. For sure.
Well, of course it can't. But like the reason why is because the content isn't good. And you have to keep in mind, why is it that the funds are drying up? The reason why is because the people that are going after them can't get any other funds. So if you can't get any other funds from, you know, people that like believe in your product, you can't get any funds from people that think that your product is going to make a lot of money. And the only way that you can get any money is if you add in some sort of like fake diversity to it, which is basically what he's saying. Then yeah, big surprise, that's going to lose a lot of money because you're creating a selection bias again for the worst possible actors.
AAA gaming. And I think unfortunately it's so entrenched that you're not going to see much of an ability to course correct because the studios are
they're just going to shut down, right?
They're going to shut down.
Yeah.
And this is truly the rise of AA gaming, or what some of my fans call S-tier gaming. This is
S-tier gaming for AA studios. That's true, because like I will say it is sad that a lot of people are being laid off and they're losing their jobs. That sucks. That sucks for anybody, and that's really hard to go through. But I really do think, I truly believe that there are a ton of people in the gaming industry who shouldn't be there, who just straight up shouldn't be there. There are people who are not passionate about the project itself, who are not fans of the project that they're working on, and then they're in the business. So the best example that I can think of for that is when those 2 Blizzard employees who were working on Diablo 4 were playing the game, and it's like, yeah, look at us play the game. And you could clearly tell that they had never played a Diablo game before. And people were memeing on how they look or who they were as people. And I'm not about that. Like, who gives a fuck? I thought that would be a cool segment if it was like, look, it's a background artist and it's like a level designer showing off the game and then talking about their time working on it. I think that's a cool segment. They should fucking know how to play the game though. So that's kind of inexcusable. And that shows you why there's a lot of mismatched bullshit in a ton of these games, because modern video game development, it's not like everyone in the group is working on level 1. And then they're all working on level 1 at the same time. And then once they're done level 1, they move on to level 2. So like From Software, it's not like when they made Elden Ring, they were all working on Limgrave. And then so everyone's working on the bosses for Limgrave, and then like the character design, like they're not doing all that at once. They're segregated. So like one person's working on this, one person's working on that. Like one person may be working on the bosses for Altus Plateau for like later in the game. And it's so you can hit development deadlines. And that's good, that's efficient, but what the problem is when the people that you have working on different segments of the game don't know how the game works as a whole, or don't know how to play the game as a whole, you get shit that just doesn't make sense or clashes with each other. So again, with those Diablo individuals, you could tell that they've never played the game before, and they were just like kind of like mashing their way through it. And big complaints with Diablo 4 is like Asmongold even had with Uber Lilith, is when you're fighting her, she has a lot of AoE effects and just like special effects that match the color of their arena, so you can't really see what's going on, and then you just get like insta death. So, and there's just like lots of weird things like that where they don't mesh, or like going from inside dungeons to the outer open world. Like a lot of stuff like doesn't mesh really well together. And it's because everybody's so segregated and they're not working on a common goal, and they don't understand what the common goal is. Yeah. So like the point that you brought up there, it's not like the insertion of these elements made the game bad. It's just the game was bad to begin with. So like putting that on top of it made the game even worse. So it's a bigger slap in the face. So Forspoken sucks. It sucks. It's a shit game. And then to throw it on top of that, it's got the fucking shittiest, most cringe story ever. And I played through the whole fucking game. So you can't tell me that like, oh, like you're just a hater, like blah, 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 blah. It's like, dude, I played through the whole game to like see if there were any kind of like components of the game that would like make up for it, and nothing. Everything was just like terrible. Like even like the cool parkour, which is supposed to be the major feature of the game, was janky as fuck and like didn't even feel good to control. And I have a friend who's like got like a higher level of autism than I do. He put like so many hours into that game because he's just one of those like completionists who has to do everything in the game. And then even he was like, yeah man, the controls were terrible in that game. And like he's one of those people that's like, oh, like everything's okay. So yeah, any redeeming factors, exactly. Uber Lilith was dumb, 3/4 of us dies. Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Like Helldivers.
like
stuff like that.
Helldivers, Pal World.
Yeah, that was the example I was going to bring up. Like Pal World, Helldivers, these were made by like indie studios. So these were made by like tens of people, not like huge teams, or even like single digit developers. Like Lethal Company was made by a person, and these games are just fucking crushing it. And it's because, big shocker, they're good games. They're fun games that you could play for hours and hours and just enjoy, and you don't have to like throw in a bunch of fucking like microtransactions or loot boxes to like get enjoyment out of the game. The game from a core fundamental status is just fun and like enjoyable to play, and they're just crushing it out there. And it's like, what people don't get is like, when Fortnite came out, it took battle royales that were already kind of like raising in popularity with like PUBG and like other games, and it just like got the formula right. And you won't out Fortnite. And if you're gonna make like a live service game, it has to do something different that is gonna get people to play. But what these fucking big studios do is they get fucking lazy, and they're just like, let's Me Too that. Let's make like the same thing, but like with our own IPs, and it's gonna be just as popular. And it's like, no, it won't. Like, it's just like, it's gonna fucking bomb, because you have to make a reason for people to not want to play a game like Fortnite. Yeah, exactly. Like, because a lot of the AA or like even like indie studios, they probably don't qualify for those types of loans or big loans like that. So they do have to self-fund. And when you self-fund, you have the power of not having to answer to anybody but yourself. And if you have a clear vision of what you want your game to be and what you're going for, and you just want to make the best version of that, you're likely gonna succeed. Like, if you play that game and everyone on your team is passionate, obviously they will be, you will have a great game. And then that's what happens when you become a bigger studio. You start hiring, and you hire people that just want to be in the industry for the sake of being in the industry. And they're like a social media manager, or they're like some fucking like asset designer or something like that, and they have no fucking care. They've probably never played a game in that genre before, and they're just there for a job. And I get that. Everybody wants a job. Everybody wants to just like go to work, do their thing. But when it comes to like a creative outlet like gaming, it's like I feel like everyone on your team, and I made a tweet about this yesterday, everyone on your team should be passionate about that thing. So if you work on God of War, I feel like every fucking person on that team should be passionate about God of War and should be fucking proficient at all of the God of War games. Not all of them, but there should be at least one God of War game that they are proficient in. And when I say proficient, I don't mean barely can fucking play the game. I mean they should have an above average skill level at the game. I don't care if you're like a background artist or if you're like an effects designer or if you're a motion capture person. You should be passionate about that game where you have above average skill set in that game. That's just my opinion. Yeah, like what are the missions going to be? It's like save the bank from being robbed, or I don't know, like, or it's just like everybody collect the backpacks the fastest. Like I don't know. Let's keep going.
The Diablo West game that came out. I
Last
forget the
Epoch.
name of that. Really incredible success stories in a period where game companies are experiencing significant losses. The bleeding will
Yeah, people love games. People just don't like games that suck. It's that simple.
Yep.
continue until and no one's gonna.
And I don't. That's why I get so sick of people standing up for dog shit games. That's why I fucking hate Sony fans who stick up for games like Forspoken or games that just like really suck. And I fucking hate Xbots who stick up for dog shit games like Starfield or Halo Infinite. They just like, because they don't want to take the L for their platform, and they just like make up these bullshit excuses for these games. It's like, stop doing that. You can admit when a game sucks no matter what the platform is. It's like Nintendo, like Switch fans could say that the Pokemon games suck dick, and then they're buggy as shit, and that's why Pal World had to come out and kick Pokemon in the ass. And it's like, PC players can say that, like, I don't know, like better optimization has to happen. So like games like Jedi Survivor don't run like dog shit on PC, which has like access to far superior hardware, yet the games run like shit. And like console fanboys, like they should admit when games are just not meeting up to expectations. And it's like, we should not, like, I'm excited for Dragon's Dogma 2, but yeah, I'd be upset too if it could only run on 30 FPS on console. Like, that's bullshit. The fact that people are looking forward to a PS5 Pro is so dumb, is so fucking stupid. It's like, I feel like the PS5 Pro and like even the PS4 Pro are an insult. Like, it's like, to everyone who bought the base version of the console, it's just like, oh, fuck you now, because now there's a pro version. And it's like the games need the pro version now to run at like an acceptable frame rate. And it's like, don't give me that, because the Demon's Souls remake runs at 60 FPS and that game looks incredible. Fucking Returnal runs at 60 FPS and that game is awesome. And it's just like, you can make games that run at 60 FPS, you just chose not to. I think they just like keep talking for quite a bit about this, so I'm gonna move on. What else do we got? Oh yeah, Summer Game Fest. That's already coming around the corner. Fuck man, June. I wonder what they're gonna announce, because this is before Shadow of the Erd Tree comes out, so there's probably gonna be a big trailer for Shadow of the Erd Tree. What other games need announcing? Probably like Wolong. No, not Wolong. Black Myth Wukong. I don't even know what else I'm excited for to be announced at like any sort of game fest. What is that? FH6? Am I stupid? Oh, Wolverine? I heard people played like the whatever got leaked and they said it wasn't that good. But yeah, can you judge a game that's like in development? Starfield Shattered Space. Oh yeah, there's gonna be Starfield DLC. Just fucking give up on that game. Oh, Forza Horizon 6. Just playing. Was that everything? Makes me want to fucking fire a whole studio of people. It's like anyone watch. Oh my god. Thought I posted other stuff. I think it's it. There's not much more going on in gaming news. Like, a couple of games announced that they're announcing like pretty big milestones. Like fuck, like a Resident Evil 4 remake is at 6 million sales. Like that's insane. Yeah, I agree. Like we don't even know what build that is of the game. Final Fantasy 16 apparently is in the last stages of its PC release. I think that's cool. I think I might get that game on PC. I played it on PS5 and I liked it. I was actually really surprised how much I liked it. But like it was a little bit of a disappointment that game couldn't run at a stable 60 FPS in performance mode in the open world. So it played at a lock 60 in combat, but that's because they had to really down res the resolution for output. And yeah, but it's like Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth runs at a solid 60 FPS, pretty solid 60 FPS, but that's made in Unreal Engine, and FF16 is made in a Square Enix proprietary engine. All right, let's get this horse and pony show started here. So we're gonna do a speed run of Bloodborne, but I need to choose a weapon that we're gonna go through. I'm gonna do this semi-legit. So usually when I do these meme runs, I'll have the weapon all the way upgraded to +10, and I'll like put some pretty beefy stats on my character. So what I'll do is I'll just start off with the weapon as if it was your starter weapon for the game. And the only leveling up I'll do is to have the base levels to use the weapon. And that's it. And then I'll just level up as normal throughout the game. And we'll time it as well. The Diablo 4 leaderboard drama, I heard it was dog shit. Like, I heard, like, not that many people are even participating, and the content is just the same shit. Like, I don't know. The whole Diablo 4 thing, like, other than playing that game for the campaign, like, there's no reason to keep playing that game, in my opinion. Like, I got bored of it pretty damn quickly. And I even made a video about that. That like I like leveled up, got to World Tier 3, and I was kind of just like, wow, so this is all I'm doing now is I'm just grinding like the same areas and like the same blood tide or hell tides and whatever those nightmare dungeons are. It's like, yep, that's all you do. And it's just like, cool. I don't think I want to play this anymore. Like I got to World Tier 4 and I got like to level 80-ish with one of my mains, and then after that I was like, I'm done. All right, so I've got a bunch of weapons here. Let's spin the wheel. Hopefully I don't get something shitty. Oh, Beast Hunter safe. Okay. Sick. Okay, so I gotta load. I gotta put that save file on my... Yeah, like, I don't know, like, if you just played Diablo 4 for, like, the campaign, it's like, yeah, it's a pretty easy game. But after that, you're like, meh. I'm also, like, I thought that Rise of the Ronin would put up a little bit more of a fight against Dragon's Dogma 2, but it's looking like Rise of the Ronin's gonna be typical Team Ninja shit, and Dragon's Dogma 2 is definitely going to come out on top. That's my prediction. I might be wrong, but the fact that Rise of the Ronin's only available on PlayStation 5, I think that's going to that's gonna hurt it. Oh yeah, I gotta plug that in. All right. Yeah. I agree. They should have just waited. But I bet you both, like, neither of them were willing to back down on what their launch date was going to be. People are going to be like, how did you get this weapon so early? And it's like, crime. That's how. All right. Stellar cheeks. I have never used this weapon before. Okay, so we are going to... get that. I'm just gonna purchase a few blood vials and stuff. Okay, that... and we are ready to rock. Because I'm super smart. All right, let's go. I've never used this weapon. What does it transform into? Oh yeah. Okay. So it's just like a saw cleaver. So the real answer is I paid for a save editor and you can edit PS4 save files. This weapon has a weird fucking move style. Oh, gonna die. Death. It's definitely not easy to do. Like, you have to know a little bit about hex codes and yeah, like it's a little bit tricky. It took me a little bit to figure out. All right, we good. Yeah, this has like it's like an underhand. Weird, and it's like a step back. That moveset's gonna be fucking tricky to get over.
I'll mess up your
I kind of don't give a shit about my blood echoes. Yeah, the step back is interesting. We'll call it that. That bloodstone shard. Yeah, that's gonna be fucking weird. How's it do against Big Boy? Weird. Charge R2 is like a slam down. All right, let's roll through here. Kill these dogs. Man, it's been a while since I played Bloodborne. I made my character look like Lady Maria. Lady Maria. All right. Put your bets in now. Do I die to Gascoigne? Do I die to a basic bitch enemy? God, that guy's got a good death noise. No problem, man. Thanks for stopping by. For a second there, I thought he didn't die. So what I'm doing right now is I'm getting enough bloodstone shards to level up my weapon. Drop. Yeah, it's got an interesting moveset. The R1, L1, L1. Oh shit! I did not think I would aggro that one so quickly. Come at me, bitches. One day, these are gonna like be able to get through the doorway, and then people are gonna be really in for a surprise. Oh, I thought he was dead. Blood vial, blood vial. This is gonna take me way longer without super cheating. Usually on a good run, I can beat the game in 2.5 hours, but that's with like starting off with a level 10 weapon. So far, I'm not too impressed with the damage this weapon does. Alright, come at me, bitch. You murdered. You murdered. This guy's a little bit more scary. Wow, so this doesn't do like a charged R2. Okay, yeah, it does. I thought it was like doing a lunge attack when I think I was holding up though. Come on, give me another bloodstone shard. Probably gonna end up being like a slightly faster than normal playthrough. Alright, nice. Alright, let's kill this pig. Man. Finally. See, what's great about the saw cleaver and why it's so OP is when you do a charged R2, like it's got a curve to it. So like you can land a backstab from like wildly different angles. Whereas with a lot of weapons, like it's very direct on. Go up to a certain height. See ya. Let's put on... I'm literally treating this like a casual playthrough. There you go. Murdered! Alright, let's go do work. Let's see if I die. Damn. getting rocked. There we go. Boom. I'll be right back.
Good.